Thank you guys for joining. Today I will be painting a self-portrait using oil paint. Now this is my first self-portrait in oil. I did a lot of other self-portraits with acrylics and like charcoal, other mediums, but today we're working with oil. So I never worked with oil. This is only my second painting with oil. I just started. I really want to explore this medium, and what better way to do that than with a self-portrait. So we're gonna get into it. Just gonna narrate some of the things I'm doing, my thought process behind everything. So right now I'm prepping my canvas. This is a previous painting I did in acrylics. It's a self-portrait of me. I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Like I don't have many canvases to just be painting over, so I can just use this one. And so I have this easel. It's a really nice easel. I got it from Michael's, and just setting up my canvas on there, getting everything right, make sure everything's good. As you can see, I have a picture of me. I took this picture myself, edited it myself, and just printed it out. I was going to use my tablet, but I just wanted to try a photocopy. I just wanted to get as natural as possible when I do these portraits. So this is my first time doing a photocopy. Usually I'm looking at a screen, but I just wanted something a little bit more natural. So right now I'm just cutting off the borders, all the whites around it. I don't want any distractions or anything like that. It's not the biggest deal, but whatever works for you, it works for me. I don't feel like there's no true whites in nature, and I just don't want any distractions. I just want to focus on the piece at hand. I had stepped away for a second because I had heard a kid crying with his brother about how cold it was outside, and it had just made me reflect on my childhood growing up and stuff. Just being kids. Everything is just so serious to us. It's funny. So right here I'm just lining up my photo with my canvas. I don't really have a way to keep my picture up, my reference up. So I try to use my easel to jig it out. Doesn't work. You'll see I end up finding a way to keep my my picture or reference up just by sticking a pair of scissors at the top of it and putting my reference in between the lever and laying it on the scissors. It works perfect for me. And I had no issues with it. Usually before I do any portraits, any work, I always sketch. Just warm up my hands, warm up my eyes, it's a good warm up, It doesn't have to be the best sketch. It's a sketch, it doesn't need to be perfect. So that's what you see me doing here. Going through my sketchbook and about to get ready to sketch. Right before I just thought of I should probably gesso my canvas first before I sketch, so I can sketch during the drying time of it. So here I'm using some basic gesso, acrylic gesso. Got it from Michael's. Cheap, it works, it gets the job done. I don't need to dilute it or anything. Just gonna spread it across my canvas. The main thing I want to cover is the face because it's the most vibrant thing. I don't want it to show through or anything. And my ground, I'm using some burnt umber, just to tone it a little bit. I'm not being too intentional on how I spread the gesso out. I'm just going with it. I don't need to fully saturate the canvas or anything with it. Now gesso is really fun to work with because it can add a lot of texture to your paintings. So I do this in layers. Usually on a third layer I'm more intentional about it, and I add different strokes to add just different textures to my canvas. You see that after the third layer. Usually they come primed already with gesso, but it's always best to at least do it 2 more layers when you get it from the store, no matter the canvas. So right now I'm just sketching out the my reference, sketching out myself. And just a quick sketch, nothing too serious, just locking in some proportions while also warming up my hand. I do believe it's crucial to do some warm-ups before you actually do a big project like this, that's going to actually entail you getting in there with the details and stuff. Like, you don't want your hand to be dull and stuff like that. So just sketch. Drawing is the fundamental to painting. It's the starting ground for almost everything, and you want to retain that as much as possible. Yeah, that's the sketch. It's nothing serious. It's just simple. It doesn't even need to look exactly like it. It's just a warm up, getting your hands used to different movements, different angles, different positions. As you can see, my background of behind the gesso is coming through. You see a little bit of the blue face there. So I'm just gonna try to cover that again. This is the second layer. As you can see, I'm being a little bit more intentional too about where I place the gesso. I'm definitely gonna cover the center where the face is at, but now I'm just like picking certain spots where I want a little bit more texture at and stuff. Yeah. And switching up the brush strokes too. It doesn't need to all be one way. This is an expressive portrait that I'm doing, so I want to add texture. I want to add abstract. I want to add the freedomness of this, the looseness that expressionism entails. Yeah, just putting in the gesso anywhere I feel, different brush strokes, left to right, up and down, diagonal, just anywhere. I'm gonna add some more burnt umber. I can never say the word right. Add some more burnt umber to the canvas just to tone it just a little bit more, make it a little darker. It's a little too light for my liking. And you can do this with acrylic paint to start off with, because it dries the fastest, and you're mixing it with your gesso. And if you add your gesso to anything, you can paint over it. If you add gesso to like any type of surface, you can oil paint over it, you can acrylic paint over it. It's a cool thing about gesso, and it adds texture too, so you get like an all-in-one special with it. Here I'm just like pulling my brush, adding just different textures. This one is a little bit less intentional. I'm just going with it wherever I feel like I just want my brush to go. And while that's drying under a fan, I'm just gonna go in and sketch some more stuff. I'm sketching a picture of Logic. I've been listening to Logic a lot lately. Man, I used to listen to him so much in middle school. It's crazy. Him and J. Cole was like my two favorites. But yeah, I'm just warming up my hands, listening to some music while my canvas dry. So now that my canvas is dry, I can set up my color palette. I'm gonna start off with just all basic colors. I got some titanium white. What else? Cad yellow, yellow ochre, auxiliary crimson. It's a hard one for me to say sometimes. We did add ivory black. I don't usually use black, but we are gonna use that. Cad red, phthalo green, and what else is on there? Oh, ultramarine blue. Dope. This is a really good color palette, very strong. It doesn't have any like crazy colors as far as I don't have my raw umber, my burnt umber, my earth tones and stuff. All that I have to make, and which is good for a beginner in terms of oil painting or painting in general. Learning to make your colors from scratch. It helps you understand colors, color theory, how colors work with each other, and how to use them. And overall, it makes your painting look just better, more cohesive. I'm using some Soviet gel from Gamblin. All these colors are from Gamblin too, by the way. Soviet gel over oil. I'm not using the linseed oil. I have it, just not using it because it's a very strong smell, lingers, and I'm painting in a home, so I don't want to have those smells just lingering around. and it's a little bit, the gel is just a little bit more friendly. Mixing up my tones, and man, it was tricky, it was hard, but I got some colors that I was happy and satisfied with for now. The thing about expression painting, or just painting in general, portraits, it's bound to change. You're mixing all these colors up, you adding on the canvas, you're seeing what works, what doesn't work. You start adding different tones to it. You start adding, it's bound to change. So like, you see me adding in my darks first. Then I realized, like, wait, this dark is too dark for that dark. They don't look right. So then I go in and edit it a little bit more. When it comes down to it, doing expression portraits and stuff, you want to keep it as loose as possible. Stay away from actually adding small details and things like that. So I start by blocking in the biggest shapes, my darks, then my lights, or my midtones, and then my light. And you see I work around the whole canvas. I don't try to stay in one spot too long. Don't want to burn yourself out, or like, your eyes, you just start like seeing it different. You just gotta give yourself a break. So I go down and I work on the shirt, then I go back up to the hair, then I go into the face, just move around, and it feels more fun when you do it that way too. You don't want to like just study one part and just burn yourself out on it. If you can't lock in that one proportion right now, go try another side of the face, come back to it. It's supposed to be like a puzzle piece. When you're doing proportions, one piece connects to the other, and this piece connects to that, So just move around, find different puzzle pieces to connect. And you'll see I reach a point where, proportions are way off on here, and sometimes you have to take a break to come back and see with fresh eyes. So I did take like a day after I thought I was done. I was like, oh, this is nice. Thought I was done. I was looking at it the next morning. I was like, wait, this is way off. And this is where it's at. I was like, wait, something's off about this thing. So next morning I woke up, sat my portrait next to my reference, and seen a lot of proportions that was off. You can tell just by looking at it, the likeness hasn't been captured, and you can see right here, the nose on the on the left side, is too long compared to my actual reference. And the nostril comes up to the center of my pupil of my photo reference, versus my painting, it doesn't. It comes up to the tear duct, and the nose comes out way too far down. It needs to be closer up. And this is what proportions is all about, and this is why taking a break, coming back, seeing it with fresh eyes, because I thought this was like perfect at first, and then next morning I was like, yeah, no, I need to fix that. And so yeah, I came back, set up everything again. I'm in my room this time, have my reference on the wall this time too, and I'm just going and fixing that nose. And the thing about building and fixing proportions is if you don't get it right, a lot of things have to change up. Everything is it's about measurements. And if your nose is too far down, that means your lips is too far down. That means the chin is too far down, and everything just needs to move. So I had to move the nose up, which means I had to move the mouth up, which is why you can't see the mouth anymore. I covered it up, which means I had to move the chin up. Everything had to shift up like an inch or two. But these small things are what captures the likeness of your reference. You're locking in these proportions. And this is like training, like I draw a lot. I draw a lot of portraits, and you will never, you won't reach a point where you won't get proportions right the first time. Like you always gonna go in and edit it and fix it up a little bit, and they say practice makes perfect. It's true, but when it comes down to building proportions, you can get really good at mastering proportions, but I don't believe you will always get it done on your first try. no matter like how experienced you are. You know, you're gonna always go in and fix up your proportions because your eyes are adjusting. It's almost like when you go outside at night, and your eyes need to adjust to the night to see better. It's just like that. Over time, you looking at your reference and your work, you're like, okay, this needs to shift a little bit, this needs to move over a little bit. And then once you build up those portions better and your eyes start to adjust a little bit more, you become happy with what you got. And I became satisfied, as you can see. And as you can see, the face went through a whole transformation. It's crazy, like the smallest things can make the biggest difference. A shift in the nose going up or wider makes the biggest difference. I added a gray, like a Payne's gray background. I don't know how I made that color. Obviously I used black and white, but or ivory black and white. But that soft gray really brought the face forward more. That's another thing, deciding how you want to bring the photo to life, and the background plays a big part in that. This is the finished painting. I am satisfied with it. I pushed it as much as I can. It still has that very abstract expressionism to it, and you reached likeness when you look at it. You're like, whoa. You can almost see, I can see myself in it. It's almost scary to look at sometimes, like I'm looking in the mirror. So thank you guys for joining. This is my series of 30 portraits, expression portraits, and follow and subscribe for more.